What is going on, bullshitters? We have a dinger for you today. We are going into the NFC South on episode 5 of Journey to the Draft, where we cover the New Orleans Saints.
What?
Let's roll that clip.
Roll it.
All right, everybody. We have a special guest from What All Season Sports Podcast, Adam Lewis. What's going on, Adam?
Man, I appreciate y'all so much for having me on. I said it yesterday when someone brought me on as a guest. Thank you so much for not butchering the podcast name. What off season? Some people are like, "What's the off season?" I'm like, no. What off season? No off days. Super happy to be here, guys. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Hey,
And
anytime.
I'm glad Sean
brother.
didn't fuck it up, man.
Yeah, right?
Facts.
No pressure,
Good,
right?
good first impression. Good first impression.
All right. So as we stated before, we are going over the New Orleans Saints offseason. And man, let's just start off that they're a negative $69.5 million in the cap.
Mhm.
Dead last.
Dead last.
Man.
So I understand that we have some cuts to make to free up some cap money.
Let's do it.
John, you got some stuff?
I would like to firstly cut Malcolm Brown, if that's okay with you, Adam.
Right. I agree.
Uh,
Very much of a presence there.
That'll free us up about $5 million. And then how about Patrick Robinson for 6? And can we get rid of Latavius Murray?
Right.
That's going to free us up about another 2.5. And then I know this is going to hurt you and all the other Saints Nation, brother. I'm sorry. Thomas Morstead has got to go.
Oh,
I knew it was going to hurt. I knew it.
But my thing is, with cutting those 4 players, you're still sitting roughly about 59, 58, negative 58 million.
mhm.
So help me, assistant GM.
So I'm going to add on to that and also cut. This is going to sting. Marshawn Lattimore saving 10
Oh, heck no, bro. Marshawn is not going anywhere, man.
Listen,
See, y'all were just feeding these names to me until y'all got me to pop, man. I know Marshawn kind of just had a down season, but no, I think Marshawn stays, man. I'm
You do?
totally cool with Patrick Robinson. We'll probably let Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, go too, as much as I hate to see that. But nah, man, Marshawn's got to stay. He's the best corner on the defense, man. No question.
That's what
I mean,
said.
he is, the best cornerback on the roster. But I mean, what other cap is high that you're going to cut?
Right. Who else
bring
would you
that
get
down.
out of there to make it more comfortable for you?
I have another name out there.
Oh,
Quan Alexander
Yeah, he can't stay healthy, man.
played
He can't stay healthy.
played only 64% of the snaps, 17 tackles, 10 assists, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and netting about like 13 mil a year.
Right. I remember when we signed him, I was like, that's a win now move. And I remember telling my buddy Jermaine, shout out to him if he catches this episode, man. I know he will. I was like, man, we got Quan. I'm so excited. And he was like, yeah, Quan's cool. Like, he's a force, but he doesn't stay healthy. And, he gets hurt in the playoffs. And I'm like, Jesus, man, like we needed him, so badly. And he's a force, but he can't stay healthy, unfortunately. So I'm right there with you. He was a win now move, brought him in at the trade deadline. So I could definitely see him, unfortunately, heading out the door.
Yeah, and then Over the Cap has this really cool tool to manage like cap space and stuff like that. So I've been toying around with that, and I got the Saints above water, but it is something unrealistic that I guarantee will not happen.
Right.
I had to end up cutting ties with Cameron Jordan, Taron Armstead, Tyson Hill, Janoris Jenkins, Quan Alexander, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshawn Lattimore, Emmanuel Sanders, Malcolm Brown, Thomas Morstead, Latavius Murray, Patrick Robinson, Josh Hill, and Trevor Simeon.
Jesus, literally
Yes.
just cleared out all of our stars. Like, is Kamara where's Kamara and Michael Thomas going out the door? Like, I was ready to be just like, oh yeah, Kamara, oh yeah, Michael Thomas too, like trade him. So
Yeah,
I
no,
feel that we are in some depth, no question.
right. So, I mean, that's probably not going to happen. So you're probably not going to be able to pick up any kind of free agents.
Right.
and that's what I got at too. Unless they make a move and make some money for somebody they really want, don't expect to hear them.
Now, if Drew Brees announces retirement sometime, I think he's kind of like leaning towards it, but he hasn't quite said the words.
Right.
Do you think the Saints take a stab after Deshaun Watson?
So the heart of me as a Saints fan says, yeah. I said it earlier, man, when the golden goose Deshaun Watson got on the market. I said, you better get Marcus Davenport out of there. You better send Jameis Winston, and you better send 2 picks over there to get Deshaun Watson. Like, some people are talking about a total of 6-7 players, whether it's picks or players, for Deshaun Watson. And the lucky thing about New Orleans is, like, realistically, I believe that the Saints could pull off this move if they wanted to. Now, they would have to move the whole field and the farm and the house to make this happen, but they could do it. But realistically, my brain tells me, no, it's not going to happen. Obviously, just being so much in debt, we're still curious about Jameis and Taysom. How are they necessarily going to play out in the offense? And then we've got guys to, like we just mentioned, that whole laundry list that you just mentioned taken care of. What are the Saints going to look like next year? We know they're a deep team, and we know that they've been a good team for these past few years. But when you're bringing back some of those foundational pieces, some of those substitution players that have to come in when Marshawn Lattimore, Cameron Jordan, or, Demario Davis isn't on the field, that's really going to hurt the Saints. And I feel like that takes us maybe from a 11 to 13 win team to, I'd say, maybe about a 9 to 11 win team. I still think the Saints are going to be a viable team. I still think they could definitely make the playoffs, but it's definitely going to be a different look in New Orleans. Definitely a humbling time for the franchise and the fan base.
I'm going to be real right now, and I'm going to say last year was their shot to win the Super Bowl.
Man, the last 4 years have been the shot to win the Super Bowl. Bro. I don't even know why I'm watching the NFL anymore. I'm being totally honest with you. I don't even know why I watch football anymore. The Minneapolis Miracle happened. I was like, okay, you missed a tackle, whatever, fine. We're back next year. NFC Championship, like, I was talking shit the whole year. I was like, this is our year. Nobody can tell me anything. And then the no call, and then the wild card. And I was really dreary after last year, but then we bring in some key moves, bring in Emmanuel Sanders, so it's not all on Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. And then just to, Drew Brees to shit the bed like that in the divisional round, it was really, really disconcerting. And as much as he shouldn't go out like that in his last game, Drew Brees was out of his prime 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. Like the MVP season when the no call happened, like after that Cowboys game, the Saints have just never been the same. So that's the unfortunate reality of it, man.
I think they've been kind of grasping at straws almost, trying to like, maybe if we just kind of squeeze the lemon just a little more, we can just get a little more of that magic juice out and get to the Super Bowl.
How many times can you rinse and repeat, basically, like the Saints have been doing? I mean, it's been the same song and dance over and over, and the only difference was Jared Cook and Emmanuel Sanders. Quan Alexander didn't stay healthy when we needed him to. Patrick Robinson was basically a bum. Like Janoris Jenkins was getting burned for the first 9-10 games of the year until we finally played Tampa Bay and for some reason decided to lock down. So there's a lot of key players in there, like I said, that are going to move out, that are going to knock that win total down lower, but we'll see, man. I just, I'm positive going into the season, and I just want to see my guys win a second one.
Yeah, the GM's definitely got to wheel and deal and pull some rabbits out of his hat or something. Because I mean, if you can clear out some space, you can almost sort of rebuild. But then with the state of free agency right now, Saints is a good spot to go.
Right.
Sean Payton's still there. Mm-hmm. Offensive guru. You get the right pieces, he can make dinner out of mud, dirt, and swimming pool water.
Right.
So you never know there. If the Saints can finagle some money, who do you think they pick up in free agency?
In free agency, man, unfortunately, I see Emmanuel Sanders leaving just because, I know he was a short pickup there. I definitely think – I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think Jared Cook's coming back, which really hurts because Jared Cook is a very good tight end in the NFL, I feel like. And unfortunately, he was undervalued and underused in that offense. I feel like the New Orleans Saints have kind of shied away from their tight end seeking days ever since Jimmy Graham left. I'd love to see a good tight end in there. I know Adam Troutman, being the rookie last year, had a pretty serviceable year considering his role with the New Orleans Saints. But, I would say the line is always good. We're very deep in the trenches. That's one thing New Orleans has always done is draft well for the offensive line when you got to protect a, basically 5'9" quarterback on his best day in Drew Brees.
Right.
So I would probably say I'd like to see either receiver, a tight end, or a corner, man, just because our secondary has always been, that kind of drawing back of us. And, this year when the defense finally kind of straightened up, I was like, here we go. But if we're going to be losing potentially Janoris and Patrick Robinson, we need to get some more guys in there. So
I'm going to say if they can pull the rabbit out of the hat, go out and get it. Go out and get it. Go out and get a guy named you messed up my train of thought, man. Go get a Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Sell your whole farm, your house, your goat, your ducks at your pond. Go get a Deshaun Watson and try to see if you can pick up Juju Smith-Schuster.
Right.
You go opposite side of
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would like it, man. Juju's definitely serviceable. I mean, not even serviceable. He's borderline great. You look at the receivers in his draft class. He leads to receivers, man. So he's definitely a quality guy in the NFL.
Right. Just seeing the offense with Deshaun Watson, Michael Thomas, Juju, and Kareem Hunt. Not Kareem Hunt. Man,
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara.
Wow.
Why am I thinking Kareem Hunt right now? Probably I was watching highlights. My bad. Anyway, so let's move on to the draft.
Yes.
Looking at the draft board, seeing that some of their key defensive players, like a guy named Cameron Jordan, might get the cut block. There's a guy sitting on the board at number 28, Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He can play in any multiple front. Can get after the quarterback very well. I think it'd be very serviceable. Young, get him for a good 4 or 5 years.
Nope, disagree completely. I
Ouch.
went with Terrace Marshall, wide receiver, LSU. That's what they need, buddy.
I like it, man. I like both of them. And honestly, we could go after another defensive lineman, but I just feel like New Orleans is so deep. If Malcolm Brown is going to get out of there, I don't see Cameron Jordan going anywhere. We still got Sheldon Rankins. Trey Hendrickson obviously just freaking blew up for the New Orleans Saints. He was the best defensive player, maybe the best player for the Saints overall, considering what happened to Breeze, considering what happened to Thomas. I mean, you just want to talk about the consistency. A guy who was top 5 in the NFL in sacks, who really wasn't even discussed of or, heard about in the NFL. Of course, I knew who Trey Hendrickson was, diehard Who Dat fan. But when you finally see a guy like that emerge who is in his 3rd, 4th year in the NFL, you have a payday coming up. I feel like the Saints are deep enough on, the defensive line and in the trenches, like I mentioned, but I'm right there with you, man. I could definitely see a wide receiver going to New Orleans. I'd love to invest in a veteran tight end. I would absolutely love to see that. But I feel like we trust Adam Troutman for some reason, because like I said, his role was, played very well with the Saints this past year in his rookie year, but we'll see, man. We'll absolutely see.
I mean, again, if you can clear out some cap space, Junior Smith might be a target.
Johnny Smith would be beautiful for the New Orleans Saints.
I mean,
Hunter Henry might be nice there too.
Right.
So,
but then again, that's affordability, which the Saints don't have, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah, we are struggling with that right now, man.
All right, man. Hey, Adam, we appreciate you jumping on with us, talking Saints football. We enjoyed it. Tell the people where we can find you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Appreciate you guys so much for having me on again. Thank you so much for the correct pronunciation of the podcast. I don't understand. As I butcher the word pronunciation, you don't know how much it means to me to get the podcast out there right. But anybody that's watching, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Of course, be sure to check me out on all social media at What Off Season SZN Sports Pod, or just What Off Season Pod. It just depends. Some platforms have the character limits, but I'm sure y'all will hook me up with the links. If you can find my social media, which I'm sure you will, just check the link in the bio. It's every bit of content we got. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're out there. All podcast platforms, new episodes every Friday. Super appreciate you guys for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Hey, no problem.
Oh yes, thanks for coming to shoot the shit, man.
Absolutely.
Check the description. All the links that this man sends me is going to go in our description. Check them out. Like, comment, subscribe. We're with it. Peace.